Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and talk about we the people, the greatest nation in the world, founded upon principles that are unique, a creator setting us free, not a state, not a big government, but a God that gave us talents for us to use and develop skills to gain experience and be a blessing in our community. That's part of the American dream. I would like to start off with a challenge that came from one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, when he was asked, "What kind of government did you give us?" And Franklin answered, "Man, we gave you a republic, if you can keep it." You see, our founding fathers, they realized when they started America that this was a unique concept, never been seen before, and that it would require a people that understand it, a people that's dedicated and that are keeping their leaders accountable. And he understood, like many others, that this was a unique experience where they answered the question, can man govern himself? And they said yes, and they formed the Republic. So I want to talk to you about the Republic. About 70 years ago, in 1941, our republic was challenged. There was a lead pilot that flew a fighter plane, and he signaled, he radioed to his carrier, and what did he say? Torah, Torah, Torah. It meant tiger, tiger, tiger. It was a signal that meant that they have arrived by Pearl Harbor unannounced. And we, the people, we were asleep. Actually, our system was working. The radar system was working. We had people watching the signals. They saw the planes coming, but they were mentally asleep. They saw the planes and they thought they were our planes coming from the main line. In actuality, it was our enemy. About 70 years later, we are facing a different challenge. And instead of Torah, 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 it is debt, debt, debt. Bondage for current generation, bondage for our children, bondage for our grandchildren. We can choose to take this on, or we can continue on a collision course where one day the system will collapse. And we will then be forced into a new system that will not look like the American dream, that will not look like our Constitution. That's why this is our challenge today, to take on this monster in Washington of debt that we have created, $13 trillion, and we have had leaders representing us for 20 years, sometimes 30 years, sometimes 40 years, and they've been continuing this policy of more and more debt year after year, and we have been asleep. While they may still be asleep, we the people are waking up. And I see that all over the district, that we are humbling ourselves and we are realizing that we the people, this is partly our fault as well. But we are now going to stand up. And I am one of many voices that are standing up. Never been in politics before. I never thought I would pursue such an office. I thought my dream was always to create jobs and combine engineering, bioscience with agriculture in greater Minnesota to make sure that our kids, when they graduate from college, we can bring them home to our community so that our communities can be vibrant for the future. That's what I've been doing all my life. So why politics? Well, because if common people don't stand up with their experience of job creation and knowing how to make tough choices and connecting with the people, giving them the options and saying we have to go this way or that way, but regardless we have to reduce the deficit. If we don't do that, then the republic will be at risk. And so in my case, in District 7, I'm running against Colin Peterson, who's been there about 20 years. I met him in Washington. I met him in Wilmer. I believe he's a good man, but I believe he's the wrong man for such a time. And for such a time. We have a right at a point in history where we have to come together, not as Republicans, not as Democrats, not as independents, but as Americans going back to the Republican principles that our founding fathers gave us. We have to humble ourselves this summer and reach out to neighbors and friends, regardless of how they voted last time, and say, we have to keep our republic. Let's go back and limit the federal government. Let's go back and replace blue dog leaders that are not standing up to Nancy Pelosi or President Obama. Let's go back and recognize that jobs come from the private sector and not from government.
Right.
So to make that happen, we have to begin a rebuilding process of we the people. Not only this coming November, but we also have to win the mindset of the next generation. And with me today, I have two young fellows on my campaign. If you turn around, they're standing up top of our bus right now, and they are flagging one of the first flags in American history. Don't tread on me. And these two fellows, Ryan and Tim, they will be part of my team that this fall, this summer, will reach out to the young people. We will travel and visit colleges, and we will work on the next generation of America to make sure that not only do we win in November, but we will win for the next decade. So while we can spend a lot of time on policy, I'm against cap and trade, of course. I'm for free enterprise. I am for reducing regulation, reducing taxes so we can create jobs. The big picture, we have to defend our republic, the American idea. So when November comes, on such a day, we the people will exercise our duty, and we will vote conservative across the entire ticket to make sure that in the state of Minnesota and at the federal government, we will start a new dedication back to the republic. We will begin again the American experience that for 50 years we have gradually been departing from, and we will start the clock anew on such a day.
Yeah.
And as we today stand in July, we have the choice to make. But we will either be the generation that will see the American experiment cease to exist. And I'm standing up with many others because I cannot be part of such a generation. Therefore, we are standing up with the only solution that's acceptable, and that is that we win in November regardless of the cost. So for the last 5 months, I'm taking an unpaid leave of absence because I have to travel District 7, the greatest district in the state of Minnesota. A group of hardworking people from the north to the south, to the west to the east, coming from multiple different ethnic backgrounds, but they are all independently minded. They are strong people. They work hard, and they don't want the federal government to tell them how to live. They know better what's needed in the local community. So on this November, we will stand up and we will cry out, and we will tell through generations going back. We will tell our founding fathers. We will tell Benjamin Franklin, yes, we heard your challenge. We understand the situation we are in. We will keep our republic.
Yeah.